Hello students, welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. Today we are going to discuss another topic, that is recent changes in jurisdiction that has been done with regard to the border security force. So, if we try to understand the context in which we are discussing this topic, it is because recently the Ministry of Home Affairs of India, through official notification published in the Gazette of India on 11th of October 2021, has enhanced the arrest, search and siege powers of the border security forces from 15 km to 50 km from the international boundary within the states of Assam, West Bengal and Punjab. That means up till now BSF had a jurisdiction only up to 15 km from the international boundary, but now they can function up to 50 km or they can exercise their power up to 50 km from the international boundary. Apart from that, the reason why it has generated so much news is because certain the leaders of Punjab as well as West Bengal, the state which are currently governed by non-BJP parties, they have criticized this act of government and they have said that it is a threat to the federalist or federalism of the India. Now, let us try to understand about BSF. So, first of all, the Border Security Force or BSF is a central armed police force that functions under the Union government. After that, it was raised in 1965. We know that in 1965 we had three wars with Pakistan in 1947, 1965, 1971 and then 1999. So, total out of these, when we had war with Pakistan in 1965, in the aftermath of that, the BSF was commissioned. The BSF Act was actually passed by Parliament in year 1968 and the rules governing these acts were framed in the following year of 1969. As far as the parent ministry of BSF is concerned, it is the Ministry of Home Affairs, and this ministry is the one which issues all orders pertaining to the BSF or other central armed police forces, for example, CRPF, SSB, ITBP, CISF, NSG as well as Assam Rifles. Now, if we try to understand that where BSF is deployed, so India being a union of states and under one border, one force policy, currently BSF is deployed along the Pakistan as well as Bangladesh borders. So, we can say on the western side we have border with Pakistan right from the state of Gujarat all the way going up to Jammu and Kashmir, while in the eastern side we had border with Bangladesh, the states like West Bengal, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Tripura, these share border with the Bangladesh. So, along both of these borders BSF has duty. Apart from this, they can also be deployed in those areas which are affected by left-wing extremism, and sometimes they can be routinely deployed for normal procedures or normal law and order duties as well as on election duties depending on the request of state government. Now, after this, if we try to understand that what is the role of BSF or border security forces and what are their responsibilities. So, first, under Rule 15 of the BSF Rules 1959, the BSF has been assigned three primary tasks while they are deployed along the borders. So, let us try to understand which are these tasks. So, first is that BSF has a duty to promote a sense of security among the people who are living in the border areas. Second, they have to prevent trans-border crimes or any sort of unauthorized entry into or exit from the territory of India. And third, they also have to help or prevent in the smuggling or any other kind of illegal activities that can happen or that is going on in the border regions. But apart from the roles and responsibilities that has been given to the BSF, there are certain limitations that has been put in place. So, the first limitation is the police power is not exercised by the BSF. Second, after apprehending a suspect, if BSF has caught someone for doing some illegal activities or certain crimes, they can only conduct preliminary questioning, or even if they have seized over some consignments of arms or drugs, they can only seize the consignment for 24 hours. After that, both suspects as well as the seized consignment have to be handed over to the local police by the BSF. Third, also it does not have any powers to prosecute crime suspects. The reason behind this is because as per the Constitution of India, we know that police is a state subject, and that is why the policing function has been delegated to the state department, state police. Now, if we try to understand that the changes or recent changes or amendment that has been brought with regard to increase in the area where the BSF can exercise their power. Let us try to understand what can be the rationale behind such changes. So, first is that we know that in recent times, since last few months, there has been changes in the political environment of Afghanistan and Pakistan region, because we know that Taliban has seized power in August, and that is why the threat perception which was earlier present there, that has changed significantly from this particular regions. Second is that several radical groups are there that are who are emboldened, and they have the sole purpose of destabilizing the border areas, especially around Punjab. And this we can see from the fact of two examples, that in last few months there has been seizure of more than 3,000 kgs of heroin, as well as there has been killing in Surankote, that is part of Punjab. So 5 military or army personnel were killed by these radical groups in the Punjab. Third is, there is high probability, as now Afghanistan has Taliban has occupied the Afghanistan, captured the Afghanistan, and both the Afghanistan and Pakistan government are now hand in hand. So that is why the groups like Lashkar-e-Taiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed, they can start renewing their onslaught in the border states of India. Apart from that, we have seen a rise in the ethnic insurgencies cases, the cases of smuggling, as well as counterfeit currency trafficking, as well as drug trafficking in the northeastern states of India. Apart from that, due to immigrations, we have certain demographic changes also being observed. So all these changes that has happened in past few months, we can say, has propelled the central government to increase the power of BSF or increase the jurisdiction of BSF, so that can function more properly. Apart from that, the other problem is that the state police forces, though they can deal with this kind of, or they should deal with this kind of situations, but the problem is that they are incapable and they cannot deal with such large issues. That is why BSF has to come into picture. Now, if we try to understand that what can be the probable impact of changes of jurisdiction. So first is that positively, by changing the jurisdiction of BSF, making it uniform, that is up to 50 km from the border areas or international border areas, now it establishes uniformity in defining the area within which BSF can operate, and also it will be helpful in improving the overall operational effectiveness in curbing several transboundary crimes. Apart from that, as many people are suggesting, or many people are criticizing, that there will be changes in the police power of a state also, but that is not true, as the current amendment only enlarges or enhances the power or jurisdiction of BSF. It does not curtail the power of state police in any manner. Third is, the power to register FIR or investigate any case remains still with the state police. And thus we can say these changes are merely an enabling provision that are aimed at strengthening and complementing the state or the efforts of the state police with the help of BSF. Now, the issues that are there on which criticism is being done about this amendment is that mainly by border states Punjab and West Bengal, who have termed the Ministry of Home Affairs move an attack on the federalism. West Bengal has also termed the move as an infringement on the rights of the state, an attack on the federal structure of the country. So these are two states that are having issues with this amendment. Now, so since we are talking about federalism or the attack on the federal character of the state, let us try to understand this provision from the lens of constitutions. So, if you look from the constitutional perspective, the Indian constitution no doubt fulfills some condition of a federation or a federal characteristic, but it leans heavily toward a strong center. And this we can understand from a quote by Sir Ivor Jennings, who was a constitutional expert. He has says that India has a federation with a strong centralizing tendencies. And if we try to understand that how the powers are shared in the center, in this kind of federation, so we can understand that in federations where police and public order are the responsibilities of states, as in the case of India, the union may devise emergency regimes in its constitution through legislation to override the exclusive autonomy of the state in respect of law and order and policy. That means constitution has given a right to central government that if it deems necessary to protect the law and order in the country, or for any certain policy matter or important policy matter, they can override the autonomy of the states. So what should be the way forward? for this particular problem. So, first is we know that national security for any country and as for India is of paramount consideration, and border security force, it is a very important agency, one of the most important central armed police forces who are empowered enough for this task, and that is why they should not be dragged into any sort of political controversy, and that is why all parties should come together and hold a multi-party meeting, and consultation between both central and state governments should take place, so they can both come on a same platform and the national security of the country can be ensured. So, that is all for today. Thank you very much.